Hi, I'm Dorothy Poppy, the Executive Director of the Bobby Jones Chiari and Syringomyelia Foundation. Many of you have questions about Chiari, syringomyelia, and related disorders that we're currently unable to answer. The best way to get these answers to your questions is to build a patient registry and use your data to answer the questions. So we began the work of creating a registry. We started gathering information on the best platforms to use and which disease registries were successful and why they were successful. Through the process, we found out that successful registries needed to be able to talk to each other with a common language. The problem was there was no language written and accepted for Chiari, syringomyelia, and related disorders. So we paused for 2.5 years to write the common data elements, a common language for researchers and doctors to use. It is now the accepted language for Chiari and syringomyelia used by the National Institutes of Health and our peer international registry. Once the language was done, we started recruiting patients for the registry and thinking about the big things we wanted to change in Chiari and related disorder treatment. We talked to patients, doctors, and families who are affected and found out that there's a lot of frustration in the current definition of Chiari. Right now, it is considered cerebellar tonsillar position 5 millimeters or greater below the foramen magnum. But that measurement doesn't reliably predict if a patient has symptoms. Some patients have no tonsillar descent and a ton of symptoms, and others can have a huge measurement and have no symptoms at all. And it becomes even more complicated when multiple diagnoses are added to the mix. A better definition became a top priority for our group. We decided to start the huge task of redefining Chiari by asking the major medical organizations and patient organizations who they would consider to be the top experts on Chiari. From this compiled list, an expert panel of medical professionals was selected. Meanwhile, a core working group from Bobby Jones Chiari and Syringomyelia Foundation began the daunting task of reviewing all medical publications on Chiari to see what definitions and criteria were used in the literature. Unfortunately, the literature has very little evidence to help with the definition. So, what we found, similar to our CDE project, is that before we can redefine Chiari, we have to pause. Since doctors have such varied opinions on what a Chiari is when they diagnose and treat it, and since efforts to standardize these opinions are so new, we are beginning another very important project. We need to focus on what criteria is widely accepted for defining and treating Chiari as a landmark paper. This paper will be a useful tool for surgeons to use to talk to their patients and explain to them the odds of improving after surgery. And then we will use our growing peer-patient registry to test and prove or disprove the conclusions that were reached in this paper. This project requires a huge number of patients, well over 1,000, and it will cost over $100,000. We need your help to make this project a reality. Participate, enter your information in the Peer International Registry, donate or host a fundraiser. You are the key to the cure, and together, anything is possible.